Even astute viewers would swear that every frame of the film was made in the Emerald Isle. But they'd be wrong. Not only were all the interiors filmed at Republic Studios, but a number of supposed exteriors were shot there too. This was the ultimate movie-making illusion. Long shots of the horse race were filmed on location, but many of the close-ups were inserted later on a Republic soundstage. Even the White of Morn cottage was replicated on a studio stage, with a bit of the country lane leading up to it. But when this particular scene, the morning after the wedding, was about to be shot, Andrew McLaglen noticed something wrong.
I walked on the set, and something was wrong, and it suddenly dawned on me that they had on, the wardrobe man had put on their regular daytime wardrobe, and they didn't have on the wardrobe that they had on at the wedding, which they'd been drinking all night, right? So I went up to Jack, and I said, excuse me, but I think that they're in the wrong wardrobe, because the wedding, you know, they're still drinking, and they should be in their wedding wardrobe. And he went like this. And, well, I could see that it was blank, but that was okay, too. He said, you're right, that's a note I made. So we changed the wardrobe. Gave me some satisfaction, and I like the way he handled it.
This is a copy of the original shooting script for The Quiet Man. Now, some of what was written here and intended to be in the picture never made it to the finished film, including the very first scene. Screenwriter Frank Nugent intended to introduce Sean Thornton on the train, bringing him to Castleton. There was even some banter with a mother and son in the same compartment. The son gives Thornton an apple. The scene was planned to be shot near the end of the film's production schedule. It never was. But anticipating that it would be, John Wayne is dutifully holding an apple as he disembarks from the train. In the script, there's much more conversation with Mickalene as he takes Sean Thornton to his birthplace. And as originally written, when Sean first sets eyes on Mary Kate, she greets him in Gaelic. There are many other changes, small and large, one can find in the shooting script, but none so interesting as the first exchange between Mickalene, Barry Fitzgerald, and Father Lonergan, Ward Bond. This is what we see in the finished film.
Sean, I'd like to have a little word with Mickalene here in reference to
sure thing, Father.
But we never do get to hear what the two men discuss. An original draft of the scene and the final script confirm what was deleted. It's here we first learn that Mickalene is the official village bookmaker. And what's more, Father Lonergan is a very good customer who's financially behind the eight ball. The scene was shot and later cut at the insistence of Hollywood censors, the Production Code Administration. For a film that deals with sex and marital relations in such a forthright manner, The Quiet Man had relatively few problems with the censors, except in the state of Ohio, which insisted that this short scene be cut.
Impetuous. Homeric.
Even with these cuts, the film still ran long, much longer than Republic Pictures' boss, Herbert J. Yates, wanted it to. He told Ford in no uncertain terms that The Quiet Man could run no more than 2 hours. Ford's final cut, after all the trims he could bear to make, was 2 hours and 9 minutes. So he tricked Yates and told him he'd cut the film down. Then he had a screening for the studio boss and other company executives. They loved the film and eagerly anticipated the climactic brawl between Wayne and McLaglen. But at exactly 2 hours into the film, just as the fight was about to start, the screen went blank. Ford looked at Yates and said he couldn't think of any way to cut the film down, so he figured he'd just stop there. Yates gave in. The film remained 129 minutes long. All the film's ingredients blended together in perfect harmony, and even Herb Yates had a feeling he had a hit on his hands. This is how Republic promoted their picture in the original Coming Attractions preview.
I'd like to tell you about The Quiet Man. He's John Wayne in a picture you'll soon be cheering. It's the story of Sean Thornton, a right-intended man who came from America to forget his past in Innisfree. There he met a fiery red-headed lass, and the village marriage broker went to work.
That's a pretty bonnet you have on.
Bonnet? Don't you be talking to me about bonnets. After leaving mine stuck up there like a...
Easy now. Have the good manners not to hit the man until he's your husband and entitled to hit you back.
Then her bully of a brother, Red Will Danaher, refused to pay her rightful dowry.
There'll be no locks or bolts between us, Mary Kate. Except those in your own mercenary little heart.
Mary Kate left him to go to Dublin, but he caught her at the station and brought her back with the whole town watching him do it.
I'll pay you. Never.
Then the fight was on. A fight they're still talking about in Innisfree. It's a wonderful picture. The finest ever brought to the screen by John Ford, and he's won 3 Academy Awards. His direction makes unforgettable the performances of John Wayne, Maureen O'Hara, Barry Fitzgerald, and Victor McLaglen.
The Quiet Man became one of the biggest successes in Republic Pictures history, and one of the biggest hits of John Ford's career. The Academy Awards the movie won for Ford and cinematographers Winton C. Hoke and Archie Stout were just the icing on the cake. But the real proof of their success has come in the years since the film's first release. No one would dispute that The Quiet Man has earned the right to be called a classic. But it's gone further than that. It's a film that people love, which is only fitting because so much love went into it.
In Ashford Castle, towards the end of our location shooting, we had a dinner, big dinner planned, with Ford sitting at the end of the table, and we were all in this long, long table just like this. And he got up and made a very soul-searching kind of a speech where he said it was so happy, he was so happy to be here with making this film, which was his dream film to make, with all the closest friends he had in the business, and Duke and Victor and Ward and Maureen. And he said, this to me would be the perfect way for me to end my career. In other words, he was inferring that with this tremendous big family gathering, that this was his swan song. Well, that was 1951, and he went on through 1963. So he went on another good 12 years after his swan song.
The Quiet Man turned out to be the film John Ford hoped it would be. Moviegoers have always cherished it, and it seems likely they always will.